A glorious July afternoon here in Chicago. Cubs baseball on NBC Sports Chicago will have the first pitch coming up in about 20 minutes as the Cubs welcome in the Cincinnati Reds for the weekend. Great to have you with us. Alongside Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. Two hot teams right now. The Cubs on a season-best 6-game winning streak, and they've won all 5 games in comeback fashion on this homestand.
Yeah, they're tied with the Philadelphia Phillies coming from behind 26 times this year. Now, granted, they played some weak competition on this homestand with the Twins and the Tigers, but still putting up very impressive numbers. The bats, just about everybody in the lineup contributing over the last 5 games, batting .370 with an OPS up over 1,000. The long ball has certainly been in play, but just a lot of good work using the whole field. That's been a continued theme for the Cub hitters.
It's cooled off a little bit. The wind is coming in off the lake. We'll see how that affects things today. The Reds are 6-3 against the Cubs. All those games were in Cincinnati, so the final 10 in the season series will be here, and they've been basically the best team in the National League during this stretch.
Yeah, the middle of the order is really good for the Reds. They've been scoring a ton of runs, and maybe the biggest difference is they've actually been pitching pretty well. That's been the narrative around this Reds club pretty much all year. If they get credible pitching, they're going to be able to hang in there, and over the last 22 games, they've been outstanding, including that 4-game sweep of the Cubs on our last road trip.
So let's go back almost over the last month. This is back to June 10th. The Reds have the best win percentage in the National League. We saw the Dodgers recently. The Cubs 1 game over 500, right around where the Brewers have been. And the reason the Cubs haven't been able to jump past Milwaukee is the Brewers have won 4 in a row.
And Brewers continue to play really good baseball. And as we say often, sometimes it's not who, but when. So, yeah, the Reds are a last place club, but right now they're playing very, very good.
Some roster moves. We'll have those for you a little bit later on. Doug Glanville is with us, and he and JD will have a conversation when we continue as the Cubs host the Cincinnati Reds. Joey Votto, Eugenio Suarez, Scooter Gennett and company coming up. Stay with us.
Davis, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
You can follow our Cubs Insiders on NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. In a moment now with our Cubs Insider, Doug Glanville. And Dougie, I guess if there were a subtitle for this homestand, I guess it would be no Chris Bryant, no problem, because everybody has been contributing so far on this great run.
Well, absolutely, JD. Think about this homestand, and it showcases the offensive versatility, the explosiveness that we've been all looking for to rattle off game after game. But 5 games really put it together, and it was contributions from so many different players. Starting off with Addison Russell gets the grand slam in the first game of the homestand against the Twins, and then boom, we got Happ in the leadoff role, getting 3 hits, contributing with the power game. Didn't stop there. Anthony Rizzo, the 2 RBI base hit, spraying it around, power in there, and of course, Bodie, what a contribution by David Bodie, coming through. The big hits of coming all around, and the excitement of Javier Baez, July 4th, firing people up with the swim move. So you see not only the versatility of different talent, but you see the versatility of how they've done it. Offense with the glove on the bases. And look at these guys. I don't know who to pick. I mean, everybody is rolling. Javier, of course, getting the player of the week. But Almora, Contreras, Rizzard, Hayward, Baez, Russell, when you have guys putting up numbers not only in average, but in authority, being on base and slugging, OPS, this is a team that's going to put up a lot of runs, as they did double digits against the Twins. And all of this was done, by the way, without Chris Bryant. So this is a positive sign for the Cubs offense.
Yeah, indeed. And I want to go back and talk a little bit about the Baez steal of home. You talked about all the offense, the way they were swinging the bats. So I guess one could make the argument that that was a bit risky to steal home there with nobody out. As a former base stealer yourself, what's your take on Baez? You know, not just the art of stealing the base, but the timing of it. I mean, because if he's out, we're all criticizing this play.
Well, Javier Baez, his middle name is Risky, so that's what a catalyst does, and his reads have proven to be very successful and very accurate. So he knew something was happening. He said, look, I'm sure the communication was there. Left-handed pitcher, slow to first, be ready. So this was not just sort of pulling it out of his hat as the magician would do. He actually has an idea of when the timing and when it actually will be successful. So this is a spark that's producing offensively and doing it with artistry and actually energizing the entire lineup. And this is part of the reason why the Cubs are where they are now.
Dougie, we've just come off a stretch of very hot days here, wind blowing out. The wind, at least the way I see it, has changed directions about 3 times since I've gotten to the ballpark. What's the feel down there at field level?
Well, right now I feel it in my face. So this is out towards sort of right center. The flags are a little deceptive. You have to look at them for one, but lower down, sometimes you get the swirl. So as a defender, especially an outfielder, you should also always be reading the tea leaves, right? Throw the grass up a little bit. Make sure you're aware of it every pitch so that you know how to make adjustments, because Wrigley is a tough outfield.
Thank you very much, Dougie. And let's throw it downstairs now for our national anthem.
All right, JD.
At this time, please remain standing and join Wayne Mesmer as he honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare stinging air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Back here at beautiful Wrigley Field, Reds and Cubs to open up a weekend series. Mike Montgomery for the Cubs. Tyler Mahle will pitch for the Reds. Cubs handed out some minor league awards. The player and pitcher of the month for June. Jared Young can play first, second, a little outfield. He is at South Bend. And see, he hit .340 in the month of June. His teammate, catcher Miguel Amaya, will play on the World Team at the Futures game. Duncan Robinson is the Cubs minor league pitcher of the month for June. 9th round pick out of Dartmouth back in 2016. Also good to see Casey Coleman back in the organization. His first start with Iowa was a win. 6 innings, 1 run allowed. Cubs made some roster moves today. Back in the bullpen is Carl Edwards Jr. He's back off the 10-day DL. Dylan Maples has been optioned to Iowa. And also left-hander Rob Zastryzny activated off the 10-day DL. He has been sent back to AAA Iowa as well. Chris Bryant not activated today. And I guess the batting cage work went well. Here's Joe Madden on when Bryant returns to the active roster.
I mean, I was just talking to the guys, and I just imagine once KB gets back on, hopefully very soon, then look, again, I always talk about this, look at the names in the lineup and then all the juggling that's going to occur once he arrives back. So that's where my point is, that's where my head's at right now. We got like 10 guys, I guess, with at least 100 plate appearances, which is really interesting and good. But once he gets back, then here comes the Zoe Almora Hap conundrum again, and having to fit all these guys in and making sure that everybody's taken care of. So it's a good problem. But as KB gets back online, that's going to show up again.
These are good problems to have, as Jason Hayward, Addison Russell, and company hope to continue to pound the baseball as the Cubs look for their 7th consecutive win. Coming up next. Day to sail, Reds and Cubs. Final 10 games of the season series will be played here in Chicago. Cubs still 1.5 behind the Milwaukee Brewers, who won again last night. Beat the Atlanta Braves in a battle of first place teams. Brewers will play tonight looking for their 5th straight win. And we talked earlier about the Reds. They're 11 games under. They're in last place, but playing very good baseball here over the past month. A reminder to Xfinity X1 customers, say show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Let's see what Jim Riggleman wrote out for his Reds Southwest starting lineup. Riggleman, the former Cub manager, has been doing a terrific job as the interim skipper. Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto at the top. Peraza's been hot as of late. Good contact guy. Suarez, Duvall, and Schebler in the middle. Kurt Casale gets the start for Tucker Barnhart. Pitcher bats 8th. That's Malley. And Billy Hamilton, the center fielder, hits 9th.
Cubs defensively, Albert Almora Jr. center, flanked by Schwarber and Hayward. Baez, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo on the infield. Wilson Contreras behind the plate. Alexis starting pitcher. Experienced, amazing starting pitcher is lucky Mike Montgomery. Monty out there as a starter for the 8th time. He's 3-2 with a .355. His starting assignments, 3-1 with a 2.43. earned run average.
Your umpires, Mike Malinsky behind the plate, Adrian Johnson at first, Trip Gibson with 2 Ps at second, and the crew chief is Brian Gorman over at third.
Well, last time out, Mike, a no decision. Excuse me, no, he got a win against the Twins when 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which were earned. And the 5 runs allowed, a season high for him. The start before that was against Cincinnati in Cincinnati. That was a no decision, an 8-6 loss. He left with the lead and a couple guys on base. Bullpen let that one get away. He'll come after the Reds hitters with this mix. Fastballs, more sinkers than 4-seamers, but he throws them both less than 50% of the time. Curve changeup. The changeup has been a real good weapon. A lot of swings and misses on that pitch, and then he throws a cutter slash slider for his 4th option.
Get out the paperweights today. It is very breezy.
Stuff blowing all over up here.
Montgomery to Peraza to get us started. And it's in there for a strike. Fastball at 91.
Yeah, just about everybody on this Reds team really on the rise here of late, including Peraza, doing a couple things he normally doesn't do. That is walk and hit for power all of a sudden. You saw that graphic on our lineup. He's hit 3 home runs over the last 9 games. He has just 5 for the season.
Got a north wind at 18 miles an hour. Maybe a north wind too, who knows. 70 degrees. And lots of blue skies.
That would reflect the outlook of both of these clubs here lately.
The 2-1 offer is bounced off the glove of Baez, and it'll trickle into the outfield grass for a leadoff base hit.
I expect balls on the ground when Montgomery pitches. One of the highest ground ball rates in the game. And play Baez is capable of making, but clearly a base hit.
Here's Scooter Gennett, leading the National League in batting average, just ahead of Albert Almora. Just .233 this season versus Cubs pitching.
But really good against left-handed pitching. The Reds as a team have a .350 on base percentage against lefties. That's tops in the National League. Gennett, 3rd in the league in terms of batting average by a left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher. He's hit .340 against southpaws. Scott Schebler is number 2 on that list at .353. They trail Freddie Freeman. Here's the overall batting average leaders in the National League. Scooter a couple of points better than Albert. That'll be the game within the game this weekend.
1-0 pitch. This is up and in. So 2-0 on Gennett. He's looking to be an all-star. Joey Votto looming and pacing on deck. Only day game in the majors. Everything else later tonight. That's low. Earlier on this homestand, the wind was blowing straight out. Temperatures in the 90s. Pitchers might have been a little bit more nitpicky, but on a day like this, you should be able to go right after guys and still keep the ball in the ballpark. 3-1.
It's been averaging about 92 miles per hour on his heater. Every now and then he can get it up there to 95, but typically see him 91, 92.
That's what JD looked like right before we did our open. A hoodie, a blanket.
Should have brought the windbreaker today.
Asking for a heater. Driven deep to left. Will it stay in? Yep. And again, that's a home run a couple days ago, but not today. It's the first out of the ball game.
It's just to hang with him today. The other day, that's 10 rows up into the bleachers.
You see Jeanette shaking his head saying, I can't hit it much better than that.
And it's funny, the Twins players or the Tiger players during one of those series are talking about, no wonder those guys put up big numbers the way the ball carries here. All about timing.
Inside to Votto.
Stella! Oh, no, never mind.
Montgomery will throw over. Peraza had a short lead, but he has stolen 5 bases against the Cubs in 7 games this season.
14 out of 16 on the year. They have a real good 9-1 punch in the stolen base department, as opposed to 1-2. They have Billy Hamilton batting 9th, and Peraza the leadoff man.
Votto doing what he normally does. He leads the National League in on-base percentage. With 426, he is the active leader. At 428, there's Billy Hamilton. Peraza got a pretty good jump, and he makes it.
He got a very good jump, especially with a left-handed pitcher on the mound. So I don't know if he just guessed right or if he saw something in Montgomery's delivery, but a great jump. Strong throw, but okay, so there's a brief moment there where his foot bounced off the bag. Is it worth the challenge? And apparently not.
The Cubs will not challenge. Meanwhile, 2-0 on Votto. Make it 3-0 as he tells Peraza to hold at second.
That might be a play they challenge if it were later in the ball game.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So there's just the briefest of moments here where his foot pops up right there and the tag is still on him.
It is a spike still in contact with the bag. It'd be tough to overturn without seeing actual daylight. 3-1 to Votto. So Montgomery has gone to 3-0 twice here in the first inning. Came back to retired Jeanette. And Votto's plate appearance still pending. In terms of the result, 3-2. Cubs 49-35. Season best 14 over the 500 mark. It's the Punch and Judy, Joey Votto, just trying to give himself another pitch.
Yeah, I don't know if he was guessing off speed there on 3-1, but he was pretty passive on a very hittable 3-1 fastball. He's very comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. Spread out, choke up, squat down a little bit more.
Ground ball to Zobrist. So they get Votto. So both times Montgomery has gone to 3-0. He's eventually recorded an out. Peraza's at third, 2 gone. And it brings up Eugenio Suarez. Tied for the NL lead with 63 RBIs. A bleacher bash. Welcome. Fouled back.
Suarez has been wearing out left-handed pitching as well. He's 5th in the league in on base, 2nd in slugging, his .964 on base plus slugging, 2nd in the NL, trailing only Nolan Arenado.
The term punch and Judy hitter. That's the first utterance of that was Walter Alston. He was managing the Dodgers. Talking about Willie McCovey. He said he's not a punch and Judy belter.
Did he say he can really Rami cackle that tomato?
Yeah. You often hear banjo hitter. A light hitting position player. 2-2. Raza started the game with a single, stole second, moved to third on the ground out. And Suarez lifts this one high to left. And again, the wind's going to knock it down. Pitch to the conditions. Mike Montgomery certainly did that in the first. Win of the season. Almora, Hayward, and Baez, who has stolen home twice already this season. Anthony Rizzo back in there at first base. Zobrist at second. And hitting in the 5th spot. Kyle Schwarber batting 6th. It's Wilson Contreras. Had a great game offensively on Wednesday. Addison Russell, the shortstop, hitting 8th. And the pitcher, Montgomery, 9th.
Reds defensively, the speedster Hamilton center, Duval Shebler left right, Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette Votto, a very talented infield group. Kirk Casale gets a starting assignment behind the plate today, and the Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is a rookie right-hander and a good one, Tyler Mahle, on for the 18th time, and he's 6-6 with a .383. Leads all National League rookies in starts, innings pitched, and wins.
Fouled back by the leadoff man, who is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Almora gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Albert has been swinging a hot bat. He hit it right at Suarez. So one away, and it brings up Jason Hayward.
Mahle has allowed 16 home runs this year. He's more of a fly ball guy than a ground ball guy. So the fact that the wind is blowing in probably aids him more than Montgomery today. Although it helped Mike a couple of times in that first inning, once for sure. The Jeanette ball
Obviously, today's result will matter a lot in terms of whether Tyler Mahle likes pitching at Wrigley Field. This is his debut here, but with the wind conditions, it's possible he may like it.
Yeah.
And some pitchers get a very unfavorable impression in the middle of the summer.
Well, let's see what Mahle features. Fastball almost 70% of the time. Slider change and almost never curveball. But he's got one.
Working quickly here. Left field not deep, and Duvall will come over and grab it.
Number 9, third baseman, Javier Baez.
He stole home on Wednesday versus Detroit to tie the ball game. Terrific, elusive head-first dive into the plate. And he takes a strike. He's 4 for 5 with a triple and a home run against Mahle.
Career high 12 strikeouts for Mahle last time out against the Brewers in the 12-3 win.
It was on Saturday. Foul tip. 1-2. In the dirt that time. Both starting pitchers in this game from Southern California. Mahle from Westminster, just southwest of Anaheim. He's gone full to Baez.
He's got a little crossfire in his delivery. He's 3-0 with a 218 in June. He's undefeated over his last 7 starts with a 284.
Ground ball to Jeanette. Mahle works a quick 1-2-3 after an inning from beautiful Wrigley Field. 0-0. Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Members FDIC. Gorgeous day here at the ballpark. Big crowd. Cubs unbeaten on the homestand, 5-0. And Adam Duvall will lead off the Cincinnati second, and he takes a strike. Duvall had been under 200 almost all season, before recently creeping into the 200s. And comes in at 203.
He's driven in 20 runs during this 16-6 stretch that the Reds are on.
On a bounce, nicely played by Baez for the out. I don't think it's a coincidence that Duvall and Hamilton, two guys who had been struggling, have been really good here lately, which has really lengthened their lineup. Now Schebler, the right fielder. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Dish Network today. Because you know, JD, it takes a village to go 16-6.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's been all hands on deck here for the Reds. Schebler's been good. Got 11 home runs this year. 7 of them have come on first pitches.
Here's the second offering.
So he's nothing on pitch number 2.
Hayward in. He'll slide and make the grab. First move earlier on the homestand for an outfielder is back. And for today, at least, it's going to be in.
Always a tough read on the pull side. Big swing, but soft contact. Zoe is tracking, but loses it, and that leaves it to Jason Hayward. And if you're going to leave it to somebody, might as well leave it to a guy who wins a Gold Glove award every year.
Two down. It's Kurt Casale, the catcher. And he takes outside for a ball. So Montgomery. There's no strikeouts, but guys behind him making plays here early, and he's also playing with that wind to his advantage. Line drive, Almora. Couple of balls struck well here in the first 2 innings, and most of them for outs. Competition, more challenge, and more dingers than ever before. Enter the code All-Star DC to unlock exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game. I'm guessing as a former Major League pitcher, you might not be playing home run derby.
I could live out some fantasies for a guy who never even hit one in batting practice.
Here's Anthony Rizzo leading off for the Cubs in the second against Tyler Mahle. And the first pitch is high.
Well, last 2 or 3 years, it's been open auditions in Cincinnati for pitchers, and it looks like Mahle has settled in and has earned himself a regular turn, and a guy that they can count on now. He's just 23 years of age. Coming through their system, he got real high marks for his pitchability, very good command.
Line shot in the center for a base hit. And fans wearing that Rizzo 44 cap. So he's 1 for 1. The Cubs have their first hit, and it'll bring up Ben Zobrist. That's a keeper. Cubs situationally have been really good here during this 6-game win streak. Moving the baseball. And a strike. Mahle made his big league debut last year. It was 0-1 to Zobrist, hit on the ground wide of first. It's foul.
They made 4 starts last year, posted good numbers after an outstanding minor league season.
His brother Greg, a left-handed pitcher in the Angels system, he made his debut in 2016.
This is his 3rd start against the Cubs this year. We saw him way back on April 2nd, and he was really good. 6 innings of 1-hit ball, did not allow a run, struck out 7.
Foul out of play.
Saw him again on May 20th. Cubs beat him on that occasion. He allowed 4 runs in 6 innings, gave up 3 home runs in that outing.
Here comes his 1-2, and Zobrist fouls this pitch. Ben hitting .296 currently. His single season career high in batting average .297. That was 9 seasons ago at Tampa Bay. And looks like he wants a new bat. Tomorrow it'll be Matt Harvey and Tyler Chatwood. And on Sunday, Luis Castillo and John Lester. Two and two. And after that, the Cubs will hit the road. 6 in California to end the first half. The Reds on the road starting today, going into the break. Here, then in Cleveland, and at St. Louis. So this is a test for the Reds, who've had this really good stretch. Tough road trip. And playing in a ballpark this weekend, which they have not had a lot of success over the last few years. Double play ball. Votto can't handle the bounce throw. Not a good throw by Jeanette. So it'll only be one. And a fielder's choice for Zobrist.
Yeah, this is about as routine as a double play ball is going to get. And Jeanette kind of drops his arm angle and spikes that throw. Votto not able to bail him out.
So that's a break for the Cubs.
Yeah, you know, the old adage in official scoring is you can't assume a double play, but fairly well assume one there when that ball was put in play.
And the Cubs have just made teams pay big time for those types of plays that haven't been made here recently. Under Joe Madden, the Cubs have gone 20-9 against the Reds here at Wrigley. The Cubs went just 3-6 in Cincy this season. Very quirky schedule in that all 9 in Cincinnati before any games were played here. And in the hands of Schwarber, and he fouls it off.
94 that time from Malley. Really good at elevating his fastball. He kind of works underneath the ball a little bit. Some old-time scouts or pitching coaches might call a pusher. That adds deception. I think it looks to me like he gets, just on the nature of some of the swings, pretty good backspin on his four-seamer.
StatCast is powered by AWS. And teams tend to shift toward the right side because that's generally where Schwarber will hit the ball on the ground. But not this time. Well timed, Mr. Schwarber. So he goes against the grain. Still only one out in the inning. 2 men on for Contreras.
About a 7% chance that was going to happen.
But it looked like he did it on purpose too, didn't it? I'm not sure if he's trying to do that, but maybe it's more of just going with that pitch, right? That's the idea.
Yeah, the whole concept of hitting it where it's pitched.
Contreras had the game-winning homer the other day, and then added some insurance with a 2-run double. The last check, and the polls are now closed. He had jumped into the All-Star lead at catcher in the National League just ahead of Buster Posey. So depending on how things went up until the deadline passed last night, he could possibly be the NL starter. And we'll see Buster Posey and the Giants next week.
They announced the results Sunday, I believe.
Sunday. Kick in the 1-1. Reds will try to turn it again. This time they do. 6-4-3 to get Malley out of the second. Still 0-0 early. organization who passed away yesterday after a brief illness. Doug, a Chicago area native who began working at Jewel at age 17 as a parking lot clerk, worked his way up through the ranks to be named president last year. He is survived by his wife Shauna and their 6 children. Pitcher matchup. Tyler Mahle takes a strike from Mike Montgomery. Now 1-1. Mahle bats 8. 3 for 25 with a double. The Reds have a secret weapon. Not Jose Oquendo. Michael Lorenzen. One of their right-handed relievers has been sizzling hot with the bat. Called strike 3. Hey, Cub fans, everybody in. Summer is in full swing. The best place to spend your summer is with us here at Wrigley Field. Plan now and get tickets to weekend matchups against the Reds, Padres, and Nationals, and support the Cubs to another division title. Is that Theo? Visit Cubs.com and place your orders
Bobby
today.
Valentine.
Rizzo will not have a play. Billy Hamilton, the batter.
Yeah, you mentioned Lorenzen. He's 4 out of 7 with 3 home runs. 2 of those have come into the pinch, and one of them a grand slam.
Goes off Montgomery. At one point, he had homered 3 consecutive at bats.
Well, Hamilton has upped his game a little bit. Still not putting up, great numbers, hitting just 213, 295 on base. But the walk rate is up, making more hard contact, hitting more line drives. He has swiped 16 bags in 19 tries.
Two and 2 on Hamilton. 1 base runner against Montgomery. That was Peraza, who led off the ball game with a single. He ended up stranded at third. Could not get him to chase. Left field, Schwarber coming after it, and he'll have to play it on a hop. So the running game very much in play here as Peraza comes up with Hamilton at first.
Yeah, always dangerous on a ball like that for an outfielder going towards the line. If you leave your feet and don't catch it and it gets by you, it's 2, possibly 3 with Hamilton running.
Yeah, it's a lot of trouble.
Towards the gap, you've got support from your center fielder. You can be a little more aggressive.
So Rizzo will try to keep him honest. And the first pitch to Peraza is a strike on the outside. Even the way he kind of shuffles and glides back to the bag, he looks fast.
He could eat a marathon bar fast. He's the only guy in the whole world.
Yeah, so when you ask that, would you rather for a day be a guy who can hit the ball 500 feet, or would you rather run that Billy Hamilton can run. I mean, what skill would you want that you don't possess?
There he goes.
And they have him, at least for now, out at second.
Nice.
1, 3, 4 to get Hamilton.
Well, I guess right now Billy Hamilton wishes he had the power. He just got picked off. He's anticipating first move there, and that's pretty much how you have to do it against a left-handed pitcher. Peraza got away with it. Hamilton did not. Really nice play by Rizzo, quickly unloading to get that ball to Zobrist. Well, it's funny that you posed that question.
Care to answer before we send it to break?
Talk about it after the break.
Okay, we've got some time. Cubs batting in the bottom of the third. True moment later on in today's game. I'm not letting you off the hook.
Oh,
hypothetical.
Simply going to say that the big sluggers wish they could run really fast, and the little fast guys wish they could hit home runs. You always want what you don't have. Now, me personally, I'd want to be the slugger guy.
I think I'd rather run really fast. Two strikes on Addison Russell. He's knocked in 10 over his last 6 games.
Yeah, boy, he's been patient. He's seeing the ball. He's letting it travel. He's not striking out. He's hitting it hard the other way. So if the hitter's taking that approach, it makes sense to try to get in on the hands with a lively heater.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Now he's first. As you mentioned, he struck out 12 in his last start.
Pitching 101, fastball up in on the hands, followed by a good breaker. So he's been good for a good stretch now. Matt Harvey, who we'll see tomorrow, has pitched well in his last few starts. No doubt creating some trade buzz. Velocity is up for Harvey.
Yeah, what will the Reds do if they go, say, 6-3 on this road trip? It'd still be 8 under at the break.
Yeah, I think you've got to be careful if you're the Reds not to get fooled by this hot stretch, and a lot of good things are going on. But
Montgomery tardy. 2 quick outs on strikeouts.
the Cubs are celebrating Bud Fridays in the Budweiser bleachers all season long. Friday, July 20th, Cubs take on the Cardinals. First pitch 120. And up to the first 5,000 early arriving Budweiser bleacher adults 21 and older receive a pair of Cubs bottle opener sunglasses presented by Budweiser. For details, visit Cubs.com/Fridays.
Strike 2, Almora. Out. Ooh, Jim Riggleman and company had to scatter. Ground ball toward right. Jeanette can't get it. As Almora tries to catch him and pass him for the NL batting lead.
Almora's been exploiting the other side of the diamond a fair bit this year. Gets on top of that high fastball.
Well,
as he often
sometimes,
does.
you know, if you're in a batting race, you can say, I can't control what the other guy does. Well, this weekend, kind of. Almora at 331, Jeanette at 330. I'll give Hayward a chance with 2 outs, and he takes a strike.
Base percentage leaders against right-handed pitching. Cubs have been good against everybody, but better against right than left. And the Reds have been really good against lefties. Overall, they rank 1 and 2 against all pitching in on-base percentage. Cubs 1, Reds 2.
Pretty well, but into the teeth of the wind. And it's Duvall in left center to end the Cubs' third. Still scoreless on a beautiful Friday. A little cooler today.
Yeah. I was in the sauna recently, 100 and plus, but I'm okay. I like it.
Billy Hamilton got picked off in the top of the third. We wanted you to kind of run through how the Cubs defended that.
Yeah, well, you saw a lot of different elements to this play. And watch, as a base runner, you're running off the head position. Montgomery looks in, and then Hamilton takes off first move. So that's a tactic you use if you're reading. But watch what Rizzo does. He's already setting the angle early, cuts the ball off, and now he has a lane where he won't hit Hamilton in the back. And as a base runner, I used to veer towards the inner lane just to make sure that they are forced to throw over me. Well, Rizzo set that angle early so that he creates later the triangle so that when he steps and throws, he doesn't have the obstruction of the runner. So really thinking a step ahead there.
And not only on that play, but on bunt throws to second and third, that's where Rizzo has the advantage of being left-handed.
Well, there's no question. If you're a right-hander in that particular situation, now you can see how far you have to come in. So the coming in now makes you have to throw even further, come further out, and that's very difficult to do.
2-0 on Scooter Gennett. 2-1.
But as a base runner, you're always looking for tips. You're going head down. You start at his cap. You watch his head position. You watch the pitcher's glove. You're watching his kick. Everything is a tip that you're looking for.
3-1. Gennett had a 3-0 count in the first inning. Eventually flied to left.
Doug, when you were a base runner with a right-handed pitcher on the mound, did you focus on one? Because I've heard guys say they look at the heel, they look at the knee. Did you focus on any one part of a right-hander's body?
A lot of times it was that heel, but you had to watch that because they had a balk move where they'd lift their heel up and then they'd spin, which was technically a balk. But if a lot of times it was so quick it was hard to catch. Yeah. Now with the technology, more and more you could slow people down and really know that the tip may come from his hat position. You watch the brim of his cap. If he tilts down or he lifts up, that might be an indicator. So it's changed a lot.
Just missed, and Gennett draws the leadoff walk. And it will bring up Joey Votto. Doug, we've been trying to figure out for years as we watch Votto get into the batter's box, he'll just kind of take a look up at the lights. There just seems to be so much going on in his head. He's fascinating, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Well, we always talked about eye switching when I was with the Cubs. You're looking to the right, clear, and then come back and focus. Because staring at the pitcher for a long time, it gets kind of blurry on you.
He's to center for a base hit. And the Reds are in business. 2 on with nobody out.
Yeah, they've done studies, right, where they show you can only maintain peak concentration for very short periods of time. I see a lot of pitchers will do that too. They'll take their eye off the target and then pick it back up before they deliver. This is a vintage Votto here. Short and quick, delivering a line drive.
Yeah, he hardly has a stride at all, and you could see sort of like a la Anthony Rizzo, the choke up. He'll choke up, and he's taken criticism over the years because it's a real, he's a power guy. He's, big contract. He should try to go for more home runs, but he kind of works against that idea that every pitch is a home run opportunity.
Well, Joey's long been a lightning rod because he takes walks and doesn't like to go out of his zone. But I find irony in any criticism of him not trying to hit home runs, because you often hear criticism of home run hitters that they're not good situationally. And JD's dropped a Tony Gwynn on him, and I think it's a good comp in terms of you can be whatever you want, as Suarez got nicked by that pitch and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, that was kind of the narrative around Gwynn back in the day, that he could have hit for a lot more power, but that's in his own mind, his DNA. He was a line drive hitter, a high average guy. Things worked out pretty well for Tony. Ichiro, they say Ichiro, had he had a different approach, could have hit a lot more home runs than he did.
Yeah, Wade Boggs, you heard the same type of thing. But, the man's at 450, 430 on base percentage. And, if you have a lot of guys around him, to drive him in, you're in great shape. You just have almost an automatic coin flip of him being on base, which is pretty incredible.
Some trouble here for Montgomery. Bases loaded, nobody out. And I think the other thing that tends to happen when you have, and the Reds had a little bit of a stretch where they were pretty good under Dusty Baker, but when you play on teams that don't win, I always found it odd that the best players on the bad teams got blamed for their teams being bad.
Or the most,
kind of the
most highly paid player, right?
Sure.
Become the lightning rod.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Texas in 2003, and we had Alex Rodriguez, the big contract, and he won an MVP award down there. But when we're getting beat down 10-2 every night, we weren't happy.
Yep. Well, this is dangerous. I mean, the wind is blowing in, but the Reds, as you saw, they've hit a ton of grand slams, 9 this season, and including 6 over a 17-game span.
And Duvall has big power.
Scoreless tie, 4th inning. But the Reds with a big-time threat. A walk, a single, and a hit by pitch. Here it comes, swing and a miss, 2-1.
He's going for it. You wouldn't see Joey Votto chase that pitch. 2 different approaches, just different philosophy, and all hit 31 home runs last year, 33 the year before.
Here comes at 2-1. It's inside, 3 balls and a strike.
For the year, Mike Montgomery's thrown first pitch strike 64% of the time, which is better than league average. Last time out, just 54%. Struggling to get ahead of hitters here today. He needs to dial up a ground ball right here.
Cubs will give up the first run for a shot at 2 to avoid a big inning. Line drive foul past where Doug is standing, just beyond the Cubs dugout. You got a multitask down there.
Yeah, watch out, watch out. I'm just ducking now. I just watch the crowd and I just follow them.
We need you to be brilliant and safe. Those are not mutually exclusive. We want both. 3-2 on Duvall. We'll look at the runners and a foul upstairs. These are the kind of innings, JD, no matter how Montgomery fares, this will take a big chunk out of your day.
Takes
this
a
is where
bite.
you start to labor.
Yeah, a lot of pitches, high stress pitches. Second time through the order against a very dangerous part of the order. And as you mentioned earlier, the ascension of Peraza, Hamilton to a certain extent. Not as many holes in this lineup as there used to be.
Another 3-2 base hit. Jeanette will score. Votto will be held by Billy Hatcher. And the Reds have the first run, and they still have the bases loaded. And Jim Hickey will head to the mound.
Guys, what I think is also changed a lot with the shift is you notice that they'll still move their alignments around the infield even in these double play situations. So you'll see, for example, Zobrist playing basically up the middle. So now all of a sudden it changes like who's going to be covering or who's closest to second base. And so they're willing, a lot of the shifts are willing to take away hits even if you're reducing your chances of getting the double play. It's a lot more about protecting against base hits and the damage that come with them than it is turning 2, and that's been a cultural shift a lot with literally the shifting defenses.
That's a great point. The shift is supposed to get outs, not double plays per se. And here's Schebler. As JD mentioned, he's been good against lefties. There's a double play chance, and they turn it. Another run scores. Votto is in. No RBI for Schebler. And it's now 2-0.
Well, Jim Hickey's got a pretty good track record, doesn't he? Post meeting impact, PMI.
Could be a new stat. Post meeting impact.
So Casale will bat with 2 outs.
That was pretty slick by Russell there on the turn too. It was not the best of feeds, a little bit low, but well done.
Well, he's already over, and even though it comes through, he still was securing it. So he did the two-handed catch there and just made sure, but a little handcuff on him.
Doug, would you play a few steps in on a day like this in the outfield with the wind blowing in, or would you just remind yourself maybe your first step should be generally in on fly balls?
I would play a little shallow. I like playing shallow, and I was more comfortable going back, so it could be to your strength, but I'd definitely play a little more in.
And it's hard because while the Cub outfielders are used to it here at Wrigley, just to turn that mindset around, because everything earlier on this homestand was going another 100 feet beyond where it would normally go, and today it's the opposite. So you see it off the bat the same way, right? But the wind's doing something completely different with it.
I mean, you have to be an environmental engineer out there. I mean, you're always assessing what's going on. And if you drew a circle around a player for a range, you don't want to eliminate some of your range because you're too close to a wall. So when you look at, Schwarber or anybody, you're like, all right, well, if I'm taking some of my range out, it's only because I'm running out of room, then I'm losing balls in front of me. So if you drew that circle and it's cut off by the wall or cut off by another teammate, that overlap is cutting into your range. So I try to maximize that circle, not only just from where I was in proximity to the wall, but also to my teammates. Because if I'm overlapping with the center field, if I'm Schwarber, then we're canceling some range out. And that's something that you have to constantly reassess, conditions-wise and pitch by pitch.
So Casali with the walk, and Malley takes a strike. We've got a Malley Casali Reds battery today. We dropped the ball on that, JD, unless you mentioned it earlier.
Law firm. Malley Casali.
Strike two.
One strikeout today for Montgomery, and it was Malley last time. So no need to give in to Casali when you got Malley next.
It's low, 1-2. Hamilton would bat next. First and third, 2 runs in. So he walks Casali, but he ends the rally by retiring Malley.
And he didn't dally.
2-0 Cincy in the fourth.
On the next edition of The Extra Point, Porter Mosier reflects on Loyola's run to the Final Four. Remember that? That was a fun time. The Cubs' wives battled it out on the field for a good cause, and one authentic fan went from Mount Everest to the mound. Tomorrow at 12 on NBC Sports, Chicago.
Hey, the Lasers are here, John and Mark. Mark celebrating a birthday recently. Happy 68th. So great to have the Lasers here at Wrigley Field.
Mark Lansing. Mike Lansing.
Mike
was
Lansing.
The Laser, right? Called him the Laser.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
From the Expo and Rocky Red Sox.
Yeah.
He hit it right on the ground to Jeanette. Slid it to first for the out.
Yeah, and Scooter, we've seen on those double plays really dropping down. He's been battling arm problems all year. We had that one shot of him that failed double play. Normally you would just kind of step and come over the top, but he's nursing a bad arm. He's had to get creative.
Doug Glanville is with us today. I know you and JD talked about the steal of home.
Oh, beautiful.
Baez on Wednesday, and that's been the talk of baseball here the last couple of days. The straight steal of home, Jackie Robinson did it several times in his career. It is a lost art. Will it ever come back?
Well, it's the percentages just work against you.
Yeah.
It's such a low percentage play. Now, in this case, where you're going off the pickoff play, that's a different scenario than just straight running as the pitch is coming home. So you get a read and you understand what the pitcher's doing and how slow he is to first base. That's a lot of information to be able to make it high percentage.
Now, the no fake to third anymore, has that made any difference in the game as you see it? They've banned the Sutcliffe move, basically.
Right, or Turk Wendell and all those guys. Yeah, I don't know if it's that effective. Most of us didn't really fall for that too often. Turk was really good because he did it quickly, and you're like, oh, okay, kind of throw you off. But, the exaggerated steps of third and then go to first and all that, or first, I don't know how effective it was, only here and there.
Yeah, I think people always would scream, nah, that never gets anybody. But the one thing it did, if you were a base runner at first, right, is you had to hesitate a little bit. So you might not get picked off, but you're not going to get as good as a jump if the pitcher has if it's within the rules where he can do that.
Yeah, and anytime they make these adjustments where they're cutting into the opportunity to slow the running game, that just kind of ratchets it up your chances to be more aggressive in those cases, as Baez has been.
3-2 foul.
I always got a kick out of that play that was not a balk, and all the ticky-tack stuff that they call a balk. And that was clearly a play designed to
deceive a runner.
To deceive a runner, yeah, which is the definition of a balk.
Absolutely. You're talking to a base stealer, so I'm just like, absolutely, everything's a balk.
On the left field line, it's twisting and it's out of play. And a nice barehanded grab there in the front row.
Plus, I've been there before reaction, too.
Yeah, he was not asking for high fives all over the place.
Cool as it gets.
Looked like he just said, happy late Father's Day. And he's generous, too. Sign that man to a contract. Suarez will get Rizzo.
His dad just gave him the ball back and said, you still owe me dinner. Not getting off that easy, pal.
It's funny, like watching the Cubs run off the field this inning, they're all looking like, where are these guys playing? Baez smokes one up the middle, and there's the second baseman right there. And you can see him running off the field just looking at the positioning. And every pitch, they're countering your patterns as a hitter.
0-1 to Zobrist. Well, you're generally taught, get a good pitch to hit it hard someplace, but is there a point, Doug, where you do survey the defensive landscape in terms of where the openings are?
I mean, you got to look into that. I mean, you saw Schwarber earlier, really beat that shift. It's got to be a factor.
2-1.
Especially today with the wind blowing in, where the opportunity to hit the ball over the shift and into the seats is, I mean, it's still there, but less so than many days.
Trailing has not been unusual for the Cubs. They have been behind in every game during this 6-game winning streak. And they've had to keep winning to keep close to Milwaukee. Alley home on a 3-1, and he walks Zobrist.
Well, and that's another skill that matters in the modern game, right? It's always mattered, but maybe even more so now with shifting. If batting average is going down due to the shift, the ability to take a walk becomes even that much more important.
Take a walk or hit the ball out of the ballpark,
Yep.
actually, work the outfield. I mean, shifts are taking away soft line drives and ground balls to that side of the field. And you saw Schwarber's percentages. When you see these huge numbers on the right side of the field, it does make a lot of sense on why they're adapting so quickly.
Big swing by Kyle, and he fouled it off.
I think it was Joel Sherman I saw on the Baseball Network the other day, and he was arguing for not outlawing the shift, but keeping infielders on the dirt. So you could have 3 on the right side, say, but they all had to be on the dirt. You couldn't be in short right.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably, you could give people territory, possibly. Like, okay, here's the circle. You can be somewhere in here. It depends how deep you want to go, but shift makes sense. It's just the data's in, and they're using it.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of eliminating shifts, but I was intrigued by that point.
That an infielder is an infielder, so play on the dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's you see in football, right? As they say, illegal defense or illegal formation, or something. You can set some parameters, and probably try it out and see what happens.
Zobrist just took off. Malley paying no attention to him, and he thought about third, but with 2 outs, he's already in scoring position. So stolen base for Zobrist. So there was no move or anything there. It just was, they're not paying attention. I'm going. Votto not hanging on the bag.
Absolutely. They give it to you, take it.
Yep.
Malley's been working with a very quick tempo. Get it and go, get it and go. He's really been focused on home plate, and Zobrist, the cagey veteran, kind of recognized that and took advantage.
Yeah, once a pitcher gets into that pattern, you can time him out very easily as a base runner.
Schwarber swings and misses. Casale will fire to Votto. And the Cubs leave Zobrist at second base. So the 2-out walk does not lead to a run. 2-0 Reds after 4.
photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Hey, Sunday, July 22nd, the Cubs battle the Cardinals at 1:20 p.m. Up to the first 5,000 early arriving children 13 and younger get a Cubs pillowcase presented by MasterCard. Then after the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will receive the opportunity to run the bases, weather permitting. Tickets are still available for the game. Visit Cubs.com today. And the Red Baron watching us today. I got a text from Mr. Sutcliffe today. I picked off a few guys with that move. Duly noted, sir. Hamilton shows bunt. And he takes a strike.
Sutcliffe sell it, man. With the long, long leg, long arm action.
We'll hear more from Doug Glanville a little later. Good stuff as always. Rizzo way in at first, and Hamilton takes low and outside.
He's way in, and Hayward really playing towards the line and right. If he were able to slash one by Anthony, Hayward would be there to hold him to a single. Theoretically.
Up the middle. Hamilton's on. Cubs picked him off the first time.
We won't deter him from trying to go at some point. So more stress for Montgomery. He's had to deal with a lot of base runners here the last couple innings.
On Wednesday, Jose Quintana pitched the Cubs' first quality start in their last 13 games. Only their second 6-inning start in that stretch, so they've had to rely on their bullpen a lot. Ball one to Peraza.
Normally, you don't think hit and run with Hamilton on first base because you just trust him to steal the base. But having been picked off with Montgomery, the lefty, on the mound, and Peraza, a very good contact man, hit and run may be an option, or run and hit.
Hamilton will easily get to third. So they loaded them with nobody out, scored twice in the fourth, and they're at the corners with nobody out for Jeanette, Votto, and Suarez here in the fifth.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Third time around, middle of the order coming up. Tyler Mahle is pitching a solid game for the Reds, so this is crisis time right here for Mike. Find his way out of this jam, that would be huge. There's a new look in the Cubs bullpen as Carl Edwards Jr. has returned.
The numbers weren't great in his rehab assignment at Iowa, but all that mattered was that he felt good physically, and he's back. And Naples back to AAA. The work of Anthony Bass has really stood out here. Obviously having Edwards out, and for a time the closer Brandon Morrow, and Bass has taken that opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, he's been really good. And stuff-wise, better than I'd anticipated and had read or heard. And he threw 96, 97 the other day.
Possible sac fly opportunity here for Jeanette.
Wouldn't Billy Hamilton love to steal home in this series against the Cubs?
Drive to right, and Hamilton will tag and score. Catch made by Hayward, and he'll fire to second. That's the right play. It's 3-0. Jeanette with the sacrifice. And gets his 58th RBI. Daza still at first, 1 out and a run in. As a pitcher in an inning like this, obviously you don't want to give up any runs, but when it's first and third, nobody out, where they are in the order, as hard as it is to do, you almost have to forget about that runner at third, right? Just kind of assume he's going to score. Now you just got to get 3 outs.
Right, because if you start pitching away from contact because you're so concerned about that man at third base or even at second base, that's when you issue a walk, and then you're working behind the dangerous hitters, and you're really asking for a big inning. At least setting up the opposition for a big inning. Kind of like the golf analogy would be the guy who hits the ball into the rough, and the smart plays just to chip it back out on the play, as opposed to making the hero play and then you hit it off a tree and it lands in the water and you end up taking a 9. Been there, done that.
I was going to say, rough day yesterday.
No. Well, at times. But that's it's kind of the same idea. Course management, game management as a pitcher.
Mike making his 8th start. And as a starter, came in with an ERA of under 250. Chipped foul by Votto. Cubs did not get deep starts in that 4-game sweep at Cincinnati a couple of weekends ago. The 4 starting pitchers in that series combined for just 19 1/3 innings. Votto got hit on the helmet. Fortunately, it was 75 and a curveball, but that's never fun.
Hard time finishing that pitch. A little bit out of sync all day today here, pretty much.
He hit Suarez in the 4th.
Batting average on balls in play for Mike this year, 270, which is well below league average. So, typically that'll normalize to 290, 300. So he's probably due for a little regression.
Standing tall. Bounces foul into the Cubs dugout.
Talk about the lack of quality starts. And I think a couple things at play there. One, pitching hasn't been quite as sharp. The starters have been inconsistent, except for John Lester. And the other part of it is when you have a good bullpen, as a manager, you're kind of more inclined to let's go. You get me into the 6th. A couple guys get on. If you don't have a good bullpen, maybe you trust your starter to stay out there a little longer and hope they can come out of it. But the bullpen has been a strength of this club, and I think at times Joe's just felt more comfortable going to the pen.
Contreras has the ball right at his feet. A swing by Suarez. Just foul by about a foot, if that. Still 1-2. Takes off. And a fly ball to right. And now Peraza will head back to second. Otto did not go. So 2 outs. And it'll bring up Duvall. He singled in the Reds' first run.
Another ball in the air. That's the DNA of the Reds hitters. They don't hit it on the ground very much. So that was kind of the tension in this game. Montgomery, high ground ball guy. Reds don't hit it on the ground very much. And to that end, I guess they have the advantage today. They're able to get the ball airborne. And on another day, they might have 6 runs.
High fly left field. Schwarber with the sunglasses on. Ends the 5th inning, so they get another run. But for Mike Montgomery, a bit of a moral victory, 3-0.
First pitch 120, and up to the first 5,000 early arriving kids 13 and younger will take home a plush Clark Bear presented by MasterCard. After the game, the first 1,000 kids will have the chance to run the bases, weather permitting. Cubs.com for tickets.
Wilson Contreras fouls away as the Cubs bat in the 5th, trying to get something going against Tyler Mahle. Right matchup. And the 0-1. That's going to drop. Otto will head out, but Contreras trying to make second, and he's going to get in. Schebler's throw off the mark and late. A hustle double. for Contreras.
And when he first hit it, I thought for sure he would go for 2 all the way. It looked like there was a little hesitation by him as he approached first base, but assesses the situation. And Schebler had a long way to go and was in an awkward throwing position. Actually threw it off the wrong foot.
Russell takes a strike. Tommy LaStella on deck for Montgomery. It's going to be a 5-inning start for Mike Montgomery. Cubs come back again. We'll get Contreras to third. And his throw is just in time. He played that thing pretty cautiously. And Russell almost beat it out.
Yeah, a little crow hop to gather himself. Then he has to put a little extra steam on this throw to get a hustling Russell.
It's also possible Votto is not yet in position. Another look. Ball 1 to LaStella. So you see, yeah, Votto way off the bag. So I think Jeanette almost double clutch there to make sure Votto was at the bag. Back and catcher's interference. He's done it again.
He's one of the best in the world at that skill. You know, that ground ball to the right side. Votto, instead of looking back over his shoulder, he just has to put his head down and sprint to the bag.
Yep. So Casale will be charged with an error.
I think he got Barnhart over in Cincinnati.
And it's Almora with runners at first and third. Foul strike.
Yeah, this is an interesting confrontation. We talked about Malley working up in the zone with his fastball. Albert likes it up there. He's a good high ball hitter, loves to hit the fastball. And Malley's charge will be to go higher than high and then come off it with the slider.
Softly hit, and they'll only get one as a result. And Almora gets an RBI on the fielder's choice. It's 3-1.
Got to cash in that lead double, and they were able to do it. Started with a little floater off the bat of Contreras, and Almora, rewarded for putting the ball in play, gets the RBI.
More at first, 2 outs. And it's Jason Hayward. Hit it too well. It was able to hang up there, and Schebler makes the catch, and the Cubs settle for one. 3-1 Cincinnati after 5. Let us do the planning for you. Cubs Destinations travel packages include tickets, hotel accommodations, ballpark tours, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current player. For more information, visit Cubs.com/destinations. Fans hanging out on Gallagher Way. His left-hander Randy Rosario will make his 18th appearance. 3 wins without a loss in relief. Lefty's batting under 200 against him.
Yeah, he's had a couple rough ones, but more good than bad for the rookie Rosario.
Scott Schebler is 0 for 2. Reds lead 3-1, 6th inning. Swing and a miss. And a slider. See Sean Marion in the house. 0-2. Montgomery gave up 3 runs in his 5 innings. Schebler strikes out. Doug Glanville is with us. By the way, good catch on the Jeanette Votto play, Doug. You got an eagle eye down there, and that's the shifting that you talked about.
Yeah, I mean, when you get out of position, you might have to cover a lot more ground to get to the base, and that's true for whether converting double plays or just getting something simple as a ground ball to second base. So it's a different set of skills these infielders have to have with the shifts.
Sally hits a roller to Russell. No throw, handled by Rizzo. So 2 quick outs, and now it's Malley, the pitcher. Struck out both times. You hear about the dog days, Doug, being in August, but when you played every day, was this the time of the year where you really had to find a little extra with 7 to 10 days before the break.
Yeah, that break can come up on you, and no days off. And you know, a lot of us who didn't make the All-Star team, you got a couple days to just kind of regroup. But especially when you're playing, you know, when you get that kind of heat that Chicago saw, and you're playing a place like Texas, for example, really can wear you down a little bit.
Cubs don't hit on the field a lot in general, and then you add an entire homestand of day games, and then you add the heat. Most of the swings before games coming in the air-conditioned cage. 3-1.
And Joe Madden does a nice job of really getting the pulse of the players and making adjustments off of, I'm going to give you a day off. So early in the season, he's like kind of running his schematic, his scheme, and then all of a sudden guys get into that rhythm, and then they have the energy to go with it.
Full count on the pitcher, Malley.
Ooh. Heads up, boys.
I remember back in Ryan Sandberg was a teammate, of course, and he was sitting in the dugout. Now they didn't have all this fencing and all this, and a ball ricocheted and hit him in the side of the head. I mean, he had like concussion, and the next day that netting went up, because there used to not be that netting in front of the where the guys are kind of leaning on. There used to be just kind of open railing.
So Malley, the pitcher, draws the walk. There are very few ballparks now that don't have some sort of barrier in front of the dugout.
Well, in the old dugouts before the expansion here, there was nowhere to hide either, because you're just piled on top of each other. It's like a hand grenade coming into the foxhole. Somebody was going to wear it.
And now, Jim, I don't know if you were in Vero Beach. They used to, I mean, nothing, and the sun was in your eyes.
Yeah.
You had no chance.
Hamilton, base hit to center. He's 3 for 3. The only good news here for the Cubs is that he has a pitcher running in front of him.
I'll slow his roll down a little bit. Yeah, Vero Beach is just basically a bench, and you're really close to home plate. And I remember playing a game there in Class A ball, 1983. Jose Rio, who had great stuff, against Vance Lovelace, who had outstanding stuff as well. And yeah, it was just everybody sitting in the dugout with their glove on.
I mean, yeah, you couldn't see anything. The sun was right in your face, and you're waist up. You're just sitting there.
Ball 1-2, Peraza. Cubs have their hands full with a last place team that's playing its best baseball here the last few weeks. Out into right center. Going to be a tough play. Caught by Hayward.
Oh, yes, sir. Love the reaction. Love the catch even more.
Well, give us the 10-second analysis on this to break, Doug.
This is perfection. I mean, this is full extension. There's no room for error. And you can see how he protects the ball. He catches, watch him pull his glove up, right? He keeps his glove up to protect the ball and make sure it stays in that pocket as best he can, because he knows if he rolls, risking injury or losing the ball. But full out extension, fantastic play, Jason Hayward.
powered by Xfinity. And it's been the Jason Hayward show and right. Getting Scott Schebler back in the second inning. And a run saver off the bat of Jose Peraza to end the top of the sixth.
It's a 27% catch probability.
Baez in the air, circling is Hamilton, and he's got it.
That last replay, how far toward the line in right field Hayward started and how shallow he was.
Yeah, and when you think about how these different kinds of plays, that's the difference. You know, some are shallow, you're fighting the wind and the sun. Others are going laterally, trying to cut balls off of the gap, backhand, forehand side. So, you know, that's what makes Hayward so incredible out there, the ability to make different kinds of plays, especially run-saving plays.
Well, he made one the other day up against the sidewall. Very dangerous area. And a sliding grab just a couple of feet from the wall. And this is another tricky part of Wrigley Field. And a lot of the newer parks, Doug, are like this now, where there's almost no room. When you get out near the foul poles, you've got a wall just beyond that foul line.
You know, and a lot of times, you know, you have to make a calculation. You're running full speed, and the ball's coming down as you are trying to corral it, and the wall is coming. I mean, it's a tough decision because it's like, do you sort of protect yourself? How do you protect yourself and still give your shot a chance to make the play? Really difficult. And you saw Hayward earlier when he got his concussion. You know, ball's coming down just as he's getting to the wall. And Wrigley, I mean, you know, you don't want to mess with many of these walls. You will pay dearly.
Muscled into center. Hamilton got a good jump, and he'll make a sliding grab. And let me tell you, that was not an easy play either. If he doesn't get that sort of jump, he probably doesn't catch it.
Yeah, what makes it tough today is the read. It's that first read because you're dealing with the wind, the sun. You know, he didn't go back. He kind of had a little freeze step, and then we went straight in very aggressively. But your tendency, if you're not sort of paying attention to the environment, the wind, you might break back for a split second. And that's the difference between a catch or a base hit.
Converted shortstop has become a terrific center fielder, Billy Hamilton, as Zobrist takes a strike. JD, what is Malley doing to the Cubs hitters today? You said he's working quickly. That's part of it.
Yeah, he's, you know, I think elevated fastball has been a big weapon for him. Occasional change up to the left-handed hitters. I think he's got a little deception. Talk about the little bit of a lower arm angle that he works with. You know, he's been on a real nice roll, so he's pitching with a lot of confidence. That's one thing. You still have to go out and execute pitches.
He's ahead of Zoe, 1-2.
You know, he picks his spots too. He hasn't thrown many pitches over the heart of the plate, but given game situation, nobody on, a couple outs, he'll be a little bit more aggressive. He's a real good feel for pitching.
Lazy fly to Adam Duvall. Always good stuff from Doug Glanville. We're going to chat with former Cub Sean Marshall, who will sing the stretch. It's 3-1 Reds after 6.
baseball show in town. Baseball night in Chicago, presented by Chick-fil-A. Join Doug Glanville and Brian Anderson alongside Layla Rahimi as they break down the biggest stories surrounding the Cubs and White Sox tonight at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago.
That's a big boat.
Das Boot. You can't ski behind that.
Scooter Gennett leads off the Reds' 7th inning. We got a lefty in the booth, Jim DeShays. We got a lefty on the mound, Randy Rosario, and our guest is Sean Marshall, former Cub, former Red. Sean, great to see you. How are you?
Great to see you. I'm doing great. What a day. Beautiful weather. Finally cooled off for us.
And the wind is blowing in. Pitchers love days like this.
Yeah, they learned that in the first inning. And those balls were crushed. Those Reds guys, those balls good. Stays right in the ballpark on a day like today.
How's things?
Things going great. Got my whole family here today. Got my 3 boys. Got Brody, Nolan, and Casey. My parents, they flew in last night. Surprised them. Told them I was doing the 7th inning stretch and the first pitch. What a thrill. I'm sitting down there by Ricketts, and it was a great day. What a memory.
Well, you were one of our favorites, and I was just thinking about your career, and there's a little bit of a Mike Montgomery comp in that you did a little bit of everything early in your career, and the story has yet to be written totally for Mike, who's been starting here lately. But you made a lot of money as a relief pitcher, and I'm sure there was a point in your career as Russell just gets Gennett where you told yourself, this is what I'm really good at, and you were terrific at it.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't quite have the stamina, the durability to last. Like these guys are studs. They throw 6 innings, 180, 220 innings a year. It's incredible. But to be a reliever, I get to pitch more often. So if I had a bad day as a starter, you sit around for 4 days, 5 days, and you can't wait to pitch again. But as a reliever, you have a bad day, you're back in there the next day, get the next big out. It's a good time.
Did you change your pitch mix much when you moved to the bullpen?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. I mean, I was always very breaking ball. Relied heavy on the curveball, the slider, made my fastball a couple ticks, seemed a couple ticks faster. So I was able to mix that pitch in a lot more. I tried to break it down about a third of the time for all my pitches: fastball, slider, cutter, curveball. Kind of a ball spin guy. I lost the feel for the changeup as a reliever, but I just an inning or two, I could spin it. Yeah, I could always spin it.
1-1 the count on Joey Votto.
Thank you, buddy.
What's the tack here to get him out? Walk him?
I mean, look how much he chokes up on the bat. He's got the bat control. I mean, that's a good tactic. But then you're getting guys in a scoring position. You get in trouble like that. But he can just hit. I had some success with him on the breaking ball. He never liked the ball up and in at him. Kind of move his feet, but he's a different breed of hitter. He's incredible. He really is.
2-2 the count on Joey Votto.
And he knows the strike zone. I mean, he's not fishing for much pitches out of strike zone.
Suarez on deck. This is a tough trio. Gennett, Votto, and Suarez. 3-1 Cincinnati, 7th inning.
Rosario can really throw it. This guy's he's a nice reliever for sure.
We're still amazed at all the velocity these days. About every game you watch, you see 99, 100.
It's incredible. Yeah, we get older, they get younger.
It's amazing how that happens.
There's a 3-2, and Votto hits it down the left field line and out of play. So Virginia native, made your debut as a Cub, pitched here a long time, and you've made Chicago your home. When I think of Sean Marshall, I think of a lifelong Chicago Cub, even though you finished with the Reds.
Yeah, I feel like I am for sure. I go to Costco or something, people are like, hey, you're Sean Marshall. It's a great city, and what a thrill to play here at such a wonderful ballpark. I mean, the fans make it special. It's just what a thrill to be drafted by the Cubs, which was one of my favorite teams as a kid. Everybody watched the Cubs, on WGN, and just to be, part of the Cubs franchise, I just feel like I'm always welcome.
So let's get down to the most important matter at hand. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. How are the pipes? How's the singing voice?
We'll see. Yeah, I've heard this song a time or two, just like you guys. I think it'll be all right. I got my assistant here, my son Brody.
All right, Brody.
Maybe I'll hand him the microphone.
Got your A game today, Brody?
Oh, he can belt it out.
He's got his Rizzo jersey on. He's ready.
Yep, he's a huge Rizzo fan. He had the biggest thrill at the Cubs convention last year. They told him he wouldn't be able to meet Rizzo. He went to the frown, you know, kind of pouting. We opened the door and Rizzo was right there for him. We made it a thrill for him. Look at this big smile on this guy's face. But all the players we met in the Cubs conventions, I mean, these guys are humble, they're genuine people, and they make kids feel special, which is what it's all about, really, when you're on this big stage. Sign autographs.
There's the 0-1 to Suarez in the dirt. You got any lefties in the house?
No lefties yet. My 10-month-old, he's been grabbing things with his left hand. I got a chance. But I got 2 righties so far. My little righty here, Brody, he can pitch and hit. He's enjoying his youth baseball. I'm able to coach a lot of kids, especially his team. A lot of kids up in the North Shore up there, and just giving back to the community too. Is, you know, it's a thrill to see kids improve.
Nice hit for Suarez. Oh, it's been great.
This guy can hit. Yeah.
Seeing Brian Dempster's kids and Kerry Wood and your crew, all of them grow up, and you're still a young man. You're what, 35, but yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah.
As you know, Joe Madden is going to make a change. Duvall the hitter. 2 outs, a man on. 7th inning. 3-1 Reds, and we'll be right back. Relief of the Chicago Cubs. Carl Edwards Jr. is back from his injury rehab assignment. And he'll work to Adam Duvall here in the 7th.
Well, we welcomed Brandon Morrow back not too long ago. Now Carl Edwards comes off the DL. This will be his first appearance since May 29th. He's having a chat with the inside of his hat, and he's ready to go to work here. 2-1 with a 288. He's pitching for the 26th time.
And some shoulder fatigue. Suarez the runner at first. First major league DL stint for CJ. And the pitch. Swing and a miss by Duvall.
Looks familiar.
Yep.
95 with cut.
This guy's a tough guy right here. That's some leverage.
His name was Sean Marshall, former Cub and Cincinnati Red.
Yeah, I got my couple alma maters out here today.
Yeah.
It's always good to see all these familiar faces.
Wins on both sides.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss.
There you go.
Another fastball. 0-2. Bullpen trying to keep the Reds close and give the offense a chance here in the late innings. Cubs have won their last 6 in a row. Missed outside 1-2. Sean pitched for some interesting managers, including Dusty Baker and Lou Piniella. Old school.
Yeah, sure did. Had Dusty twice.
Yeah.
Dusty here at the Cubbies. Dusty with the Reds for a couple years. All great guys, great managers. I really enjoyed playing for all the guys I played for.
Big personalities.
Yeah, big personality. Great people.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. All right, the Marshals coming up. It is the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by St. Xavier University.
For Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Cubs pitcher Sean Marshall.
How we doing, Cubs fans? We got the best ballpark and the best fans in baseball out here, guys. Hey, here we go. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I ever get back for its ring. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3. You're out at the old ball game.
I think we had a first with our stretch. As Sean was finishing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Joey Votto was wildly waving his arms up to our booth. And when he finished, I said, hey, say hi to Votto. I don't know if he caught it at the end. He said, hey, Votto. Joey waved. Hi, Sean. 1-1 on Kyle Schwarber. O'Malley's still working for the Reds.
We've talked a lot today about the run the Reds have been on. 16-6 over their last 32. Starting pitching, a big reason why.
And Kyle went around, upset with himself as he strikes out.
Not that they've been great, but they've been really good and so much improved. And here's the breaking ball. Again, the ability to go up and down has been a big key for O'Malley today. And Schwarber, who's usually pretty adept at checking his swing, commits that time. From opening day through June 9th, Red starters were 13-33 with a 5.82 ERA. That's 65 games. This 22-game stretch, they're 11-3 with a 3.56. So it took them 65 to win 13 and then 22 to win 11.
Bunted foul. The Reds think that ball may have hit Contreras in fair territory, but probably didn't. And yeah, the Reds have been red hot over the last 22, averaging over 6 runs. And getting some very good pitching as well. Lorenzen the righty, Kyle Crockett the lefty. I mentioned Lorenzen's prowess with the bat. In the 8th inning, they have Schebler, Casale, and then Malley, the pitcher. So if Jim Riggleman wanted to use Lorenzen to start the bottom of the 8th, he possibly could pinch hit before he pitches.
That's a nice weapon to have, especially in today's day and age where you carry so many guys in the bullpen and you're limited, and just about everybody carrying a 4-man bench these days.
Jeanette can't get it on the dive. Contreras reaches. His second hit today.
He's having quite the homestand. And how about the 2 hits today? The little bloop double. And now a stick your butt out, flip your barrel at it, and something good happens. Base hit to right. It's rather Starlin Castro-esque.
Russell 0 for 2. He hits a ground ball. Jeanette spins, throws, gets 1, and that'll be it for the Reds. 2 outs in the inning.
Check out the variety of luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer, like the Dell EMC Legend Suite, which includes an all-inclusive suite experience, and best of all, a visit from a former Cub player. Visit Cubs.com/premier for an option that fits your needs.
Pinch hitter Ian Happ announced. So he bats for Edwards, who struck out Duvall to end the top of this inning. Strop and Farrell, a couple of right-handers in the Cubs bullpen. Time for a Rocket Mortgage breakdown. See some of the better numbers against Reds pitching this year. Happ hitting .417. All those at bats coming at Great American Ballpark.
It's a homecoming of sorts for him. He played his college ball, likes hitting there. Most of the Cubs have had a lot of success in that ballpark over the years.
Russell the runner at first. A 2-1 to Happ. He's had a very good eye all year, and especially lately. Draws the walk.
Drives the manager out of the dugout.
Looks like it's Lorenzen. To face Almora. 2 outs, 7th inning. Starter is out. Reliever in. We'll be back. official external pain relief of the Chicago Cubs. Lorenzen's been good all the way around. On the mound and at the plate, Tyler Mahle in his 22nd big league start with a career best 6 2/3 innings today.
Lorenzen, a physical specimen, man. This kid is strong. Got a power arm. He doesn't rack up a lot of strikeouts. He sinks the fastball, gets a lot of balls hit on the ground, but it's a hard sinker, 95, 96 miles per hour. To throw cutters and sliders, rarely anything soft.
Facing Albert Almora. With Russell at second, Happ at first. 2-run ball game, and that pitch really handcuffed Casale. 1 ball, no strikes.
More a good fastball hitter, so he tries to start him with a slider and backed up on him.
So Lorenzen, if he gets his 3rd out, most likely bat in the top of the 8th. And Almora screams at himself as he pops it up. And Jeanette with 2 hands on it ends the threat. Cubs strand a couple, trail 3-1 as we head to the 8th.
Next Friday, that'll be Friday the 13th, and just announced Gallagher Way will host Chicago's official Son of a Sailor pre-show celebration starting at noon in honor of Jimmy's return to Wrigley Field. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com/concerts.
Happ stays in the game and roam center. Luke Farrell comes in to work the 8th inning. Scoreless work from Rosario and Edwards so far in relief of the starter Mike Montgomery.
That bullpen continues to be a strength for this Cubs club, and Farrell at times has gone long stretches between outings, but he's pitching in back-to-back games now. Scoreless inning against the Tigers on Wednesday.
Farrell versus Schebler. First pitch slider is low. Schebler, an Iowa native. He hits one high and foul to right. Farrell from Cleveland, Ohio, and then went to Northwestern. 6'6", 210. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. No home runs in this game on a windy day. Wind coming out of the north. To the upper deck, still 2-2 on Schebler.
We'll get swings and misses up above the hands with a four-seam fastball that averages about 93 miles an hour. There's a slider and a curve, but way more sliders than curveballs, and also a split finger pitch.
He has run it full with Casale, the catcher, on deck.
The long view for Luke Farrell is as a starter in this league. He's got the tools.
Hooked into right. For a leadoff base hit. News today involving one of the Cubs' top pitching prospects. Major League Baseball announcing that Oscar De La Cruz has been suspended 80 games for violating the league's joint drug prevention and treatment program. De La Cruz was pitching at Double-A Tennessee and struggling through 16 starts with a 5.24 ERA. Chance for 2, 4, 6, 3. Double play. 2 down. With Lorenzen coming up.
Well, that's huge with Lorenzen coming up. Empty those bases. Nice double play here. Zobrist has to square the shoulders to get the feed to Russell. You got the catcher going down the line. That certainly helps. Out by a wide margin.
So Lorenzen homered against the Cubs June 24th. And then back-to-back days against Milwaukee. It was 3 consecutive plate appearances with a home run, including a grand slam on June 30th. Jacob Barnes. 1 ball, 1 strike on him. I don't believe there's been any sort of serious discussion of making him a two-way player in terms of having him learn a defensive position that he could possibly play when he's not pitching. And now it's relief work and occasional pinch hit duty. The one thing we haven't asked Jim Riggleman, would he consider DHing him in an American League park, kind of like Shohei Ohtani? I'm guessing no.
If he were a starting pitcher, maybe, or if he'd thrown a bunch of pitches a day or 2 before where he wasn't available, you might think about it. You might get a little pushback from some of the guys, some of your bench guys who think,
yeah.
So, but I mean, if he's a better hitter, hang with him, fellas.
Out on the big board and left, and you see 571, 625, 1857.
7 at bats, 3 home runs. Rick Rhoden DH'd a little bit back in the day, I believe. Or at least once. He was the Yankees. So that rings a bell.
He has worked a full count. One thing he hasn't done as a big league hitter is walk much. Only one time in 66 plate appearances. So he likes to swing the bat. And he doesn't that time, though. Takes a called third, and Farrell works a scoreless 8. It's getting late. The Cubs are down a couple. Of the 8th inning. Cubs have won 6 in a row and have started this homestand 5-0. They find themselves trailing late.
Hayward has been the star of the show defensively today. Last time up, he hit a rocket to right field for an out.
Lorenzen got the final out of the 7th. And deals strike 1. Starters, the pitchers of record, Malley and Montgomery. Ball, 1 strike. $41,434 inside the friendly confines. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The biggest factor for Lorenzen, the remaining kind of that two-way guy is that he pitches well, because if he doesn't pitch well enough, his bat's not going to keep him in the big leagues.
First came to the big leagues, he was a starting pitcher. Certainly if he could master that, then there would be more at bats. I don't know if there's any talk among the Reds organization of taking a look at that again, or if they're just going to leave him in the pen.
This is foul. 1-1 the count. Happy 71st birthday out to Mike Alexander.
Took a shot with Suarez back and just fouled it off. I like the play, and most guys don't like to bump when they already have a strike on them, but if you're confident in your ability to get it down, you've got the third baseman back, it's an easy knock. If.
Base hit to right. That'll bring Rizzo up as the tying run with 1 out.
Bad two-strike pitch from Lorenzen, and Javi able to exploit it. 96, but out over the heart of the plate and up a little bit. And he just rides it into right field. Casale was set up off the plate, looking for something up and away, maybe a chase pitch, but that ball worked its way back to the strike zone.
Jim Riggleman's going to play the matchup here and go with Kyle Crockett, the left-hander, to face Anthony Rizzo. We're back in the 8th in a moment. Left-hander Kyle Crockett is in to face Anthony Rizzo. 1 out, 1 on, 8th inning in a 2-run ball game.
Lefty specialist working for the 8th time. You see he's only worked 3 2/3 previous 7 outings. And left-handed batters 1 out of 11 against him. And 0.91 batting average. Big league time with the Indians. And 4 preceding seasons to this one. 6'2", 175. Funk in his delivery. A lot of sliders. Not a hard thrower, 88, 89 miles per hour with the fastball.
That's a strike. A hefty home run leaderboard. Most homers by current Cubs pre-All-Star break. A single season. A lot of Brizzo. That is through into center. Baez to third. They're at the corners for Zobrist.
Marcelo Iglesias is the Reds closer, and at times they've used him for more than an inning, and I believe that's going to happen right here. Jim Riggleman comes out of the bullpen. He must have gotten word that Iglesias is good to go.
That's exactly what he's going to do. So he'll ask Iglesias for a 5-out save. Cubs have runners at the corners with 1 out in the 8th. Don't go anywhere.
Chad would take the mound against Matt Harvey. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Cubs pregame live, or you can stream the game live on the NBC Sports app.
Here's Raisel Iglesias, 16 out of 19 in save chances. Pretty high leverage spot. We're not even in the 9th yet. First and third, 1 out. His team leads by 2. As he'll face switch hitting Ben Zobrist.
Last time out, Iglesias suffered his 3rd blown save of the year. Gave up a home run to Avi Garcia. It's a Tuesday against the Sox, and a wild one. That the home run by Garcia tied the game at 8. He converted his previous 8 chances. Big arm, throws hard, good breaking stuff, and funky angles.
1 to Zobrist. Mano and Rizzo having quite a conversation over there at first. Always pretty chatty. Baez the runner at third. Here it comes. It's in there for a strike. Iglesias and Lorenzen, 2 of the better arms the Reds have had the last few years, and they were starters. And now both in the bullpen.
Iglesias, because of his time as a starter, has a starter's mix. Rely on just 1 or 2 pitches.
3-2 to Zobrist. Schwarber on deck.
So far in the last 2 pitches, Javi has incited the crowd to make more noise. He's told Anthony to broaden his strike zone, or widen his lead, excuse me, and he was talking to Schwarber too.
Rizzo not willing, and Zobrist just got a piece of it. The changeup is in part designed to get a possible double play ball. Although this one was up a little bit.
Just one of the tougher hitters in the league to fool.
A 3-2 hit in the air to center. Hamilton takes a look back. He makes a catch on a warning track. Rizzo will tag along with Baez. It's a 3-2 ball game with a tying run at second base. Sac fly for Zoe.
Yeah, to carry all the way to the wall there, that ball really scalded. On a day where the wind has really knocked the ball down, it no doubt got a piece of this one, but Zobrist puts a charge in it and gets one home and gets the tying run into scoring position.
That run will be charged to Lorenzen, and Schwarber will be intentionally walked. And they'll go after Contreras, who's been maybe the Cubs' hottest hitter here the last few days. He's 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored this afternoon. They're going to go with the platoon advantage. Righty versus righty. Iglesias against Contreras.
Wilson's been waving the magic wand here today. Bloop double and seeing eye single.
First pitch a strike.
They're not keeping a close eye on Rizzo out at second base, so that's allowing him to get an aggressive secondary lead. Should be able to score on any base hit to the outfield.
Battle now, down 0-2. Couple of good sliders to start this sequence. Yeah, some really hot Cub hitters during this winning streak.
Got away with a bit of a mistake there. 2-strike slider on the plate and up.
And the Cubs overcome another 3-run deficit. And 3-0 earlier. Now 3-2 in the 8th inning.
Another lazy breaking ball.
In their last 7 wins, the Cubs have erased a 3-run deficit.
How many times can you pull the rabbit out of the hat?
Well, a good magician could do it every time. Iglesias limits the damage as Contreras slams his helmet down. It's 3-2 Cincinnati as we head off to the 9th. 3-2 Cincinnati, 9th inning. Luke Farrell with a scoreless 8th inning. Still out there. He'll face Hamilton, Peraza, and Jeanette.
Russell Happ, pinch hitter, due for the Cubs in the bottom half.
Men in. Hamilton shows bunt and takes a borderline pitch for ball 1. He is 3 for 3. He has scored a run. He's been picked off once. All from the 9 spot. Major League most 63 starts, batting 9th. His walk rate is up this season.
Yeah, a little bit better than league average.
3-0. He might be taking 2 here. He's at over 10%.
He doesn't take 2, he should be fined.
3-1. That is ball 4, and that could be trouble. However, just like we promised, time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. It was a lefty when Mike Montgomery teamed with Rizzo and Zobrist to get Hamilton on the bases back in the 3rd inning. A little tougher here with a right-hander on the mound. Good contact guy in Peraza.
Right. So baseball 101 says 1-run lead, top of the 9th. You're going to bunt them along here, play for a run. But if you're Jim Riggleman, you probably don't have to think along those lines with Hamilton at first base. Just let him try to steal the bag. Well, the stopwatch on Farrell, and if his times to home are not excessively quick, go, right, would be the strategy.
Do you want to, if you're the Reds, give up an out here?
No, that's a
that's a head scratcher.
That's baseball strategy. Again, normally you bunt, but with this mix of players, the righty on the mound and Hamilton at first base, I don't want Peraza bunting. Certainly, maybe for a hit, but I don't want him giving himself up. Peraza's trying to communicate with Hamilton. I think, you want me to take a pitch? You going? What's the plan here?
He's in the sack bunt mode. And it's 0-2.
Yeah, and that, maybe coming from the bench, he may be doing it on his own. Riggs is thinking, let's steal the bag and then hit the ball on the ground to the right side, or push a bunt that way to get him over if you feel comfortable doing that.
Two and 2 on Peraza, who does not strike out very much. There he goes. And a ground ball to short, so that will get Hamilton to second. And it will also bring Joe Madden out of the dugout. Both lefties Jeanette and Votto do. He's got Justin Wilson. That's who comes out of the bullpen door. Reds 3, Cubs 2, 9th inning. The pen, here's Justin Wilson.
Justin 3-2. He's picked up wins in each of his last 2 appearances, both coming on this homestand. One against the Twins, one against the Tigers. Tiger outing was on Tuesday. 3.09 ERA overall, 2.02 batting average against left-handed hitters, just a $1.63, and he's got a couple of good ones coming up here, Jeanette and Votto.
And the outfield hit will score Hamilton. And Jeanette trying to bunt.
Trying to bunt a double. Players sometimes overthink things. Hamilton always a threat to steal third base, maybe less so with a left-handed hitter in the box. But to take nothing for granted, you got to keep an eye on him, and Russell is. As is Wilson. Premeditated. I think guys get up there in these situations. Should I bunt? Should I not bunt? And their mind is all over the place, and they just kind of lose focus. Bias is well off the line at third base. So that would present a challenge right there, just to sprint to the bag to cover if Hamilton goes.
And Jeanette has been so good this year, but Wilson carved him up.
I think he just took himself out of the at-bat. He was thinking bunt or not bunt. I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish. Bad swing at the high heater, and then well-placed slider finishes him off.
So it's Votto. 2 down. Strike call. He's staring down Hamilton. Strike 2.
And I think in this situation, and Votto looking out in Hamilton's direction, I think is trying to send him a telepathic message. Hey man, let me bouncing around out there. Let me concentrate. Let me do my job.
Wilson, the 5th Cub to pitch today. Montgomery went 5. Rosario an inning and 2/3. Edwards got an out. Farrell an inning and a 1/3. The bullpen has not allowed a run to this point. Hamilton takes off for 3rd, and Votto fouls out of play. So still 2-2 on Votto. JD mentioned it. Russell, Happ, and a pinch hitter for the Cubs in the bottom of the 9th. Against Raisel Iglesias. They hope to be down just 1. Swing and a miss. Wilson comes in, strikes out Jeanette and Votto. And we will go to the bottom of the 9th in a 1-run ball game. Cubs have scored in the 5th and the 8th. Both of the runs actually scoring on outs. More a fielder's choice in the 5th. Zobrist to sac fly in the 8th. Here's Russell to lead off the 9th. Outside from Iglesias. Got the final 2 outs of the 8th. Looking from the windup. Swing and a miss.
Cubs with a 104 plus 104 run differential, best in the league, and from the 7th inning on, it's a huge advantage.
After a high slider and missed it. Hap next. It looks like Victor Caratini, the switch hitting catcher, will bat as a pinch hitter for Wilson. Drive out into right center. Hamilton gets to the spot. He didn't look all that comfortable. You got the wind and the sun, but he got there and made the play.
Things to worry about out there, including a potential collision with Schebler. You saw him take a look down to find Schebler, and then was able to pick the ball up. And that's a scary proposition for an outfielder on a day like today to look away and then look back up.
Yeah, my guess is the situation with the Reds outfield is if Billy Hamilton can catch it, he does. He gets priority over everybody else. Typically, the center fielder is the captain.
Yeah, and that's what Doug was talking about earlier in the game, the kind of the Venn diagram approach where you have your circle of range, and I mean, the corner guys, that allows them to play further towards the line a little bit because he provides so much coverage.
With a base hit to right on an 0-2 pitch. Broke his bat in the process. The tying run is on base with one out. And we'll bring up Caratini.
Well, I thought Iglesias got away with some bad two-strike pitches to Contreras. He got him, but he was throwing some breaking pitches in the zone. This, however, is not a real bad pitch. It's a changeup down, and that could be a pitch that really gives Hap fits, but he's on it and down through it for a solid line drive single.
Caratini recently brought back from AAA Iowa. Big hole on the right side with Votto holding Hap. Off the inside for ball one. Hayward on deck. And Javier Baez looming. Strike called. Strike two. Slightly open stance from Victor. 1-2. Missed off the inside.
He's not taking a very aggressive lead down there at first base. Sometimes the thinking against a guy like Iglesias that, well, it's going to be tough to string some hits together. We might as well take a shot and try to steal a bag.
Full count.
Victor 2 out of 9 as a pinch hitter this year. Crowd rises as the count goes full.
There goes Hap, and it's bounced foul. Hap's got it to within 1 in the 8th. Tying run is at first base. The 3-2 with Happ running. Ground ball to second. They'll stay out of the double play. 2 outs. And Happ now in scoring position. Jason Hayward, the batter.
How about a game-tying knock to add to the highlight montage for the day? So far offensively, it's been a little bleak. 0 for 4. He hit that bullet to right back in the 5th, but 2 spectacular plays in the field.
Two outs, 9th inning, 1-run game, tying run at second. Here we go. Strike on the inside. Iglesias has probably thrown more changeups than anything else since he came in. That was a slider. He has pitched away from his fastball quite a bit. That time at 96 off the plate, and it's 1-1.
Jason's been very clutchy this year. 370 with runners in scoring position.
Down to their final strike. Somebody made a play right in front of us. That man right there. Iglesias home, and it's high.
Can't bear to look.
Cannot bear to watch. The crowd will likely tell her the result.
She's peeking through those fingers.
I feel her nerves. This is a nail biter here at Wrigley. 2-2. Low. It's full.
The Cubs offense has really taken off. There's been a lot of talk about the Chili Davis hitters only meeting in Los Angeles when they were struggling, and Chili said, hey, trust your teammates, be willing to accept your walk, don't try to be a hero.
(3-2) to Hayward. Will do it again. That ball ricocheted off Jim Riggleman.
See, they're trying to keep everything in. They don't want to allow him to get extended.
Down the line, foul.
The sliders have been, for lack of a better phrase, hit or miss here for Iglesias throughout his outing. He's thrown some good ones. He's thrown some spinners that have sat out over the middle of the plate.
Another 3-2. Fly to left. Duvall is there, and the Reds hang on. Iglesias picks up a 5-out save. Cubs made them sweat, but the Reds win the opener 3-2, and they've now taken 7 of 10 in the season series.
Well, we talked about it in our pregame conversation. A lot of times it's not the who, but the when you play a team. Yeah, the Reds are last place team, but they have not been playing like one for an extended period of time now. And we got another outstanding start from Tyler Malley. This is our third look at him this year, and he's been really good. If you're looking for a silver lining, Iglesias threw a lot of pitches. He'll, in all likelihood, be down tomorrow.
Cubs' 6-game winning streak is over. First loss on the homestand, and the toast of the game presented by Benny's Beverage Depot goes to Tyler Malley, who wins in his Wrigley Field debut.
Yeah, well, he hasn't lost since May. He is undefeated in June. And on a very nice stretch, he threw strike one a high percentage of the time. He went 6 2/3, allowed just 5 hits, 1 run.
Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. For JD, for Doug Glanville, our entire NBC Sports Chicago crew here at Wrigley Field. Glenn Casper with your final. The Reds 3, the Cubs 2. We're back with you tomorrow, 12:30 for our pregame coverage. First pitch at 1:20. Not done yet. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois post-game live from our studios coming up next.